HEB. HEB has been involved in the parade in the past, and they were eager to continue their commitment to this Houston tradition. But in addition to HEB, Central Houston Civic Improvement, Central Houston individual members, and the Houston Arts Alliance are the four partners bringing the parade together. Ward and Ames Special Events will serve as event manager of operations, and my Office of Special Events will provide additional oversight. As everyone knows, citing the financial challenges of putting on the parade in addition to their primary festival, the Houston Festival Foundation publicly announced last week that it would no longer produce the parade. This event has a long history, and it has gone through a number of different hands. From 1949 to 1993, the majority of its history, it was produced by Foley's. And it was the Foley's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Central Houston was the producer, and Bank United the title sponsor in 1994, 95. The Houston Festival Foundation became producer in 1996. And Washington Mutual bought out Bank United, so it became the Bank United, was named Bank United with the title sponsor. Since 2007, HEB has been a loyal sponsor of this event, and we are thankful for their ongoing support and for their patience as we went through this process of Houston International Festival putting down the parade and us coming together to figure out a way to resurrect it. We believe that we have the core of the team that will take the parade forward into the future. But this year, transition year, very, very short time to pull off an event of this magnitude. But Ward and Ames Special Events, very experienced. My Office of Special Events, very experienced. We have our stable ongoing sponsorship with HEB. We're looking forward to this year and future years of a fine Houston tradition. Now I'd like to introduce Cindy Garza Roberts, HEB's Director of Public Affairs.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. Welcome and good morning, everyone. We are very excited to once again be the presenting sponsor of this annual Houston tradition. As the Mayor mentioned, many Houstonians have grown up going to downtown Houston and watching the parade. They will be able to continue to carry on that tradition. Since 2007, HEB has been the title sponsor. One of the things that we are very committed to is reinvesting in the communities that we serve, and what better way to do that than community service. And we feel that certainly the holiday parade, the Thanksgiving Day Parade, is one of those community involvement initiatives that we are extremely committed to. So we are looking forward to this year's parade. It will be incredible. It will be one that families will be able to enjoy, and then after they come to downtown Houston, they can go and give thanks in their homes and their churches and their synagogues. So thank you, Mayor. We are thrilled to be partnering with everyone, the city, and look forward to participation from everyone in Houston and even our visitors that come to Houston during the holiday season. Thank you.
Now I want to introduce Pam Gardner, Chair of Central Houston.
Thank you, Mayor. When the Mayor put out the call to action to make the Thanksgiving parade continue, Bob Urey with Central Houston put his staff together, put a call to action out to our membership, and we were so thrilled and pleased with the response we got from the business community. Houston's known for this, and people have rallied in a big way. There's still room for more of you, by the way. And we would love to see others come in and participate, because this really is a part of Houston. And it's not only a tradition, but it's what's going to happen going forward. So we welcome others, and we thank so much those that participated. Thank you.
Okay, questions about the Thanksgiving parade?
Mayor, I may not be using the words you used exactly, but you said something like it would be in a different form or may look a little different if I understood you correctly. Could you elaborate on what you mean?
There's been a lot of discussion in the media about the fact that, well, let me back up. We expect certain things in a parade. And particularly a Thanksgiving parade, you expect the big balloons. You expect floats. You expect marching bands. Unfortunately, the floats that people may have been familiar with were sold by Houston International Festival. So, you know, there's some floats that people go and then look for. Those won't be there. And we were at a bit of a scramble to find some floats. But we have some ideas about what we can do to bring floats in. But the other elements of a traditional parade can all be in place, and we think it's going to be a really festive event. Among the things we're thinking about, realizing it's a short time frame, in addition to bringing floats in from other cities, is maybe we have a design a float competition. I've been approached by the Art Car Association here in Houston. They always want to show off their vehicles, and if it was a little too hot for you in May when we had our Art Car Parade, maybe you'd like to see some of those again for the Thanksgiving parade. So I think you're going to see different elements come together, and we're going to create some new traditions.
Mayor, what will be done to ensure oversight in the future so that the parade just doesn't disappear like it did this year?
Well, as I indicated when I talked about the history of the parade, it has always been a private event. We have a number of other private events. The rodeo parade is a completely private event. We also have Cinco de Mayo parades and Fiestas Patrias parade and so forth. We obviously don't want to be the heavy hand of government and take over something that is a viable private event. This event, however, was set down by its owner, and we're picking it up, and I would expect that the city would play some role in it going forward, as we do with our 4th of July celebration in Loma, Texas, as we do with our traditional holiday celebration in December, as we do with our new tradition, which is the New Year's Eve celebration. And so, depending on support from our corporate community that underwrites these activities, and with my ability to bring somebody in to specifically devote themselves to working on this, because obviously it would depend on the resources of the Office of Special Events, we think this is something that we can partner with and move forward. My preference would be that a Thanksgiving parade entity step forward, but if not, we're going to make sure that the city of Houston enjoys this tradition long into the future.
Mayor, does the city underwrite parade floats? And just to,
No.
what was your
We don't own parade floats, we don't underwrite parade floats.
Okay, what was your thoughts when you heard or found out that the parade floats had been sold? At least we had heard on eBay, but what were your thoughts about the parade floats being sold?
We were aware that Houston International Festival was concerned about the Thanksgiving parade, and we were aware that they were having some difficulties with fundraising, and we had been in conversations with them over a period of some months about how and whether the parade would go forward. We were a little surprised when they sold the floats, but that was a decision that they had to make. They owned them, and they did offer them to us, but it was a situation where they also owed us money, and they wanted us to pay for the floats while they still owed us money, and so we were in negotiations with them. So it is what it is. Now I will say that some of those floats, like Santa and the Sleigh and so forth, were much loved. They were older floats, and it was time for an upgrade anyway, and I think that that was part of the calculation that was being done, that they knew that they were not just going to have them funds for an event, but they were gonna have the funds to invest in the assets for that event. And so it's a good transition time.
What's
And
the
how much money
status
they
of
owe?
that debt owed by IMAS?
They're a private entity, other than the fact that they owe us some money, and I'm assuming that they will clear their books with us in order to get the permits to go forward next year.
What is your relationship now with the International Festival Foundation?
You know, they're Houstonians. They care a lot about this city. That is an event that many people enjoy every year. We want to see them succeed. While we had a little bit of a kind of a back and forth around this particular event, we never want to see a traditional Houston event that has grown so large and and is enjoyed by so many people fall by the wayside.
Mayor, this announcement you're making today, is this a one-year commitment, or have some companies pledged to do this like in 2014 and you put it for 2 years?
This is a one-year commitment coming together to do this event, but in the conversations we've had with our current corporate sponsors and potential corporate sponsors, this has been going on since 1949. Overwhelming interest in making sure that it continues into the future. And so while the exact partnership may not be the same, and as I indicated, there will be a role going forward within the Mayor's Office of Special Events just to make sure that the ball doesn't get dropped in the future. I don't know what exactly the relationship will be.
In retrospect, would you have come forward sooner, or do you think you should have come forward sooner to tell the public that there was an issue with the parade going downhill?
Well, you know, letting it drop and writing it and saving it is probably really great media for me. But that our goal was to take care of a problem in the way we always try to take care of a problem, quietly and efficiently, and working with the principals in the most productive manner possible. In this situation, it didn't happen to work out right, but we were already having conversations, and in fact, Pam Gardner and Bob Urey were in my office on Monday, and all of this broke in terms of making sure that there was a smooth transition. So we were already working on it in case, as what ultimately happened, our conversations with HIF broke down.
Are y'all gonna have a media partner? You don't have to say the name unless it's state here, so what?
Well, the good news, and again, I happen to think of this as an opportunity. The good news is that we're starting fresh, and we would love to have a media partner. This has been broadcast in Houston for a very, very long time, much longer than I've been around, and we would like to hear from local media if they have an interest in producing, or broadcasting this event.
Mayor?
You mentioned, settling up the debt to the city, getting permits for the next events. Are the next events in jeopardy? Is there any concern about?
You're going to have those conversations with HIF. They are a private entity. All we were focused on was making sure that the city was made whole, and that we were discussing our Thanksgiving event. I would hate to see anything happen to the Houston International Festival. It too has been around a long time. Lots of folks enjoy that event, and it showcases the fact that Houston is an international city. But you're going to have those conversations with them.
You didn't have that conversation with them given their financial restrictions?
We are having those conversations, but I am not at liberty to talk about what are essentially legal discussions.
Mayor, there are those who feel, the city knew about the financial problems with the parade and they feel that it was irresponsible for the city to delay. Your response to that?
I can't legally go and rip away something that someone owns. I can't go and take floats away that belong to a private entity, and no one would want government to do that. We have been aware that there were problems, and we were productively engaged in those problems, but until they set down their burden, we couldn't pick it up, even though we were having conversations and engaged with them. And frankly, when they made the decision to sell the floats, it put everybody back on their heels a little bit. That was a surprise.
Mayor,
And, you know, the discussions got a little testy after that. But it has worked out, and we're focused on moving forward and being positive. And every one of us up here hopes that HIF has a great event next year.
Mayor, you have within your organization and the city a group of people headed by Sue Christian who could very amicably take over this parade and do a great job. And then you have a great marketing staff. Do you feel confident that they'll be able to handle this because they have handled so many other things? And I know this is the last minute, but what do you think about that?
Ms. Christian and the Mayor's Office of Special Events handle much bigger events than this, and they do it very, very well. However, it's a matter of human resources, and she has to have the personnel to pull off a big event. This is something that isn't in our budget and wasn't on our plans in terms of the allocation of her resources. All of the big events that she pulls off depend on corporate sponsors like HEB, like Central Houston stepping forward to write the big checks. And so our real commitment is to make sure that this is an event that we can all be proud of. And that we use this year as a transition year because we do think this is something that the City of Houston ought to make sure we have a hand in so that it doesn't look like it's gone away again. And when I went through the history, you can see that we went through this very similar in '93 when Macy's took over Foley's and they stopped their sponsorship. We went through something similar in '94, '95 when there was a transition. I believe that having some city role in this will mean that we don't have to go through that kind of, new sponsors will come and go, but we don't have to go through that, you know, doubt as to whether it will continue.
Are we good on the parade?
Good on the parade? Great.
I do need to ask
You can ask me other questions, free fire zone, I understand, but I wonder if you have any other questions about the parade. We really think this is a good news opportunity. It's a chance to completely rethink what we do in our parade and to engage Houstonians in a different way. I'm really excited about some of the concepts of how can we get people involved in the float process. How can we get more Houstonians to participate in the parade, not just watch the parade. And we're going to see this as an opportunity to rethink a tradition and make it better. And again, if there's a media partner out there that wants to talk to us, they should give us a call.
Will it be on Thanksgiving, Mayor?
Of course. It's the Thanksgiving Day parade. It'll be in the morning, so you can then go home and...
Your invitation of the citizens of Houston and various groups here to come forth with some floats in a timely fashion, where do people go to find out about that information?
Just call
Or will
for now.
something be set up?
Right now, it would be a call to the Mayor's Office of Special Events. Susan Christian.
Mayor, Dave Smiley has been working with Sue Christian for a number of years. The Spectrum has a tremendous amount of resources, and I just was curious to know whether or not you may tap his resources with Sue Christian together to see if you pull off a major.
We're going to tap every resource we can. Obviously, in the space of a week, we came together with enough funds, that $400,000, to pull this event off, and someone who could devote the staff time to riding herd on everything. And so now, knowing that we have to start working today for the parade next year, we have plenty of time to make all of this happen. So this is, it's part of the normal ebb and flow of things that happen in the city. This isn't something that the city wanted to happen. It's not something that we participated in. It was more, it happened. We did what we could to help HIF make a transition. Wasn't feasible there, now we have an opportunity to pick it up and move it forward, create another great tradition. Again, I want to thank HEB and Central Houston and other smaller dollar corporate underwriters that I haven't mentioned today, but all of whom are important to this because it takes a lot of money to put on an event. And while I am devoting staff resources to this through the Office of Special Events, this is something that is being underwritten by very generous corporate sponsors.
Mayor, off topic, if everybody's done with that.
Not till you let these four folks go. I promise.
Okay.
Thank you.